How's it going, everyone? Jiivita here with another quick start video. Last episode we covered how to leave your first planet and get to a level 3 world. This is not only going to allow you to explore player-made shops to pick up some valuable new tools, but also to gather new resources to be able to craft the more advanced tools, weapons, and machines. So let's get started. Today we're going to be covering some of the new creatures on the level 3 worlds, as well as meteors, and finding the new resources for crafting. Now that you have some better weaponry and tools, you might want to go out and gather new resources to be able to craft the higher level machines. Particularly the two resources you're going to want to find are silver and tech components. Tech components will be found up kind of in the mountainous areas, or at least higher than average altitude, like say maybe 80 or 90, whereas silver can only be found on the level 3 metal worlds as far as level 3 planets go. Certainly you can go to higher level planets and find silver there, but the level 3 lush planet that we're on right now will not have any silver for us to mine. However, you can do meteors to get both gold and silver. However, you'll only get like 1 to 3 pieces per meteor that you do. However, that will be enough to slowly make your machines, and the meteors can be an excellent way to level. But certainly if you're going to be doing that much combat, you want to come over to your skill tree and pick up some kinetic armor. 3 to 4 points in the kinetic armor will make a extreme difference in your survivability. 4 to 5 will make you practically immune. Even 3 points is pretty darn good. If you're going to go deliberately hunting meteors, I would first suggest kind of interacting with the local wildlife to get used to the new creature types. On level 3 worlds, you'll encounter Cuddle Trunks for the first time, which is this odd looking thing right here. They are pretty fast moving, on the weak side, but they do fly around and shoot projectiles at you. Let's kind of let it, there we go. And as you can see, you can dodge them with reasonable ease. However, they do have predictive aiming, so if you move in a predictable way, then they will hit you. So you pretty much have to wait for them to fire and then quickly change directions. As you damage them, they might pull out more advanced attacks, say like this homing shot right there, and some of the higher level ones can actually throw out bombs at you that unfortunately kinetic armor will not protect you from. So once you damage a Cuddle Trunk, it's a good idea to go ahead and finish it off before it starts using some of its more annoying attacks against you. The other new enemy type that you'll come across are hoppers. As you can see, they only move by hopping around, and these are essentially jumping bombs. Their only tactic is to light their fuse, as you'll see here in a little bit, and then hop towards you. If they manage to land on you, they will blow up and cause explosive damage, which your kinetic armor will not protect you from. However, they are generally pretty easy to dispatch unless they come in large numbers. And certainly falling in a hole is not exactly ideal. So let's go ahead and try to get rid of him before, there we go. So, and the final new mob you'll come across, which you really don't even have to worry about, are road runners. These are bird-like creatures that are fairly timid. If you approach them, they will run around at high speeds, and they have no attacks to speak of. So really, they have some nice loot if you can manage to kill them, but that is the trick, is they're pretty hard to hit. And yeah, it looks like he already ran away just while I was trying to get my sling bow on. One of the great things about going to a level 3 planet is that level 3 planets and up all have Gleam. Each planet generally has a different color of Gleam, but if you're unfamiliar, Gleam are blocks that emit light, and these are a particularly nice upgrade over the torches you've probably been using so far, and they also emit light underwater, so even if you fall into some water, your light will not go out. So it's very, very nice to get one of these fairly early game. Gleam is most often found on the surface in various different formations such as craters or ruins. Also, they can be found in the various bodies of water. Once you're comfortable with the new monsters, you can try doing a meteor. On a level 3 planet, you can generally spawn a meteor by traveling to a new zone. So if you look up at the top of the screen above the compass, it'll often say east or northwest of, and maybe might be a zone name or question marks. If basically you do the opposite of that, so like it says east right now, if I head west, I'll actually head towards that zone. And again, falling in holes is not exactly ideal. But as you can see, it says east of question marks right now. That means we're east of that zone and we need to travel west to get to it. Once we enter the zone, if nobody's been there in a while, it will trigger a meteor to spawn. So naturally, this will work better on planets that are less populated. So we just entered the zone and we discovered it. This would also fill in the atlas for us, and not seeing a meteor currently. So okay, there we go. We got a meteor coming in, so let's head over to that. It's a good idea to keep some food handy to keep that full up buff going so you're constantly regenerating HP. However, if you have enough kinetic armor, you shouldn't take very much damage. But certainly the high level wild stock and anything explosive will be able to damage you even with it. Once you defeat the first creature, you will get an extra buff down here at the bottom. This is a meteor life. If you lose your meteor life by returning to Sanctum or dying or getting too far away from the meteor, then the meteor will automatically fail and you will still be able to loot it, but it'll be for reduced loot. So to give you an example of what it looks like if you get too far away from the meteor, you'll get a warning message across your screen with a timer. There we go, we have 9 seconds to get back into the meteor area. For some additional clarification, you only fail the meteor if every player in the area loses their meteor life. So if you're in a small group and somebody dies, they do not get reduced loot, only if everybody is defeated or loses their meteor life, at which point the meteor goes dormant, and it's the dormant state that gives less loot. As you can see, it's a pretty generous range, so it shouldn't be too hard to stay close. But certainly if you get overwhelmed, then you could run into issues. But as you can see, this says Meteorite Core 1. The level of the meteor is determined by how many players are in the area. So if you're off by yourself and you're the only one there, then you should get a level 1, maybe a level 2 meteor on occasion, which will be fairly easy for you to solo. There we go. You got the message that the meteor is complete. You want to be sure to run around and loot all the creatures for the animal drops. It's good to note that the bodies will stick around for 3 minutes. However, if you break the corpse so that the loot is laying on the ground, that will stay around for 5 minutes. Also later on, you'll be able to acquire special tools that will automatically loot the corpses for you, which is an immense quality of life for any hunter. Once you're done looting, you can head over to the meteor and you can use either your fist weapons or a hammer to break it open to expose the loot box. As you can see, the meteor is made out of warp conduits and you can actually use these to warp around later. Just go ahead and hit this loot box and it'll break into several pieces of loot. So right there we got some silver and gold ore. And certainly anytime you see a sheer cliff face kind of like this one, an easy way to explore is just get down in the water and swim around and look, and you can oftentimes find exposed resources. So we got some copper, tech fragments, but the main thing we're looking for is the tech components. Unfortunately, this cliff face is already kind of picked clean, it appears. However, I just did a little bit of mining and found 3 right here. You can use your iron hammer, which works okay, 2 hits per block with our given spec. However, you can also use your fist weapons and 1-shot the rock and 2-shot the resources. So it is a little bit slower, however you can use 2 at the same time. to do it a little bit faster. The only problem is lighting, but you could certainly take the light epic if you had the skill points for it to have a natural light effect around your character. Okay, so I did just a little bit more mining and already found another 3 plus some iron, so that is pretty good. So I'll just give you a little quick tour. I did dig this one tunnel, and before I dug this one, I dug this one over here. So I did do a little bit more, but it's really only took a few more minutes, and yeah. Already found some more. So these are relatively easy to find as long as you have a little bit of patience. Okay, well, that's a crash course on how to survive in a level 3 worlds. We did a quick overview on the creatures that you'll find here, how to do meteors, and even how to find Gleam. As you can see, our inventory is pretty much a disaster. It's kind of a given when you're doing so many different things, but certainly with the gold, silver, and tech components, we can start crafting the more advanced machines. Or if you prefer, you could just gather basic resources, sell them, and then buy the more advanced machines. Certainly both methods are completely valid. Anyway, this was Jiivita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you like my channel, want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. Until next time, peace.